Oh, I'm so sorry. I gotta do a part two of this because I was running my mouth and I've lost track of time. So I stopped at Odin representing Jupiter. How do I know that Odin represents Jupiter? When Odin heard about Ragnarok, Odin was a seeker of wisdom. Odin was a pursuer of knowledge. They don't show that aspect of him a lot in the movies, but once you start to feel the energy, because all these planets are energies, they're all spirits. Okay, and so once you start to feel the spirit of a particular planet, then you start to recognize that planet in their different manifestations and their different incarnations, different aspects of them. Okay, so during Odin was a possessor and a seeker of wisdom, because when Ragnarok, which is the end of the world, was to happen, Odin did sacrifice everything just to find any information he could find to see if he could stop Ragnarok. He lost his eye because he was hanging on the tree of life, or what they call that, some word in Norse that I can't pronounce, hanging on that tree for 9 days because he was trying to learn the secret of the runes. And on the 9th day, after he hung on that cross, pierced himself on the side, hanging on that cross, on that tree rather, for 9 days, it was revealed to him the secret of the runes. The runes is the thing that they toss on the ground. Okay, so his heart was after wisdom. And that's what Jupiter is about, higher knowledge and higher wisdom. Now, Heimdall, on the other hand, is Saturn. How do I know this? Remember how Heimdall used to guard the gate of used to stand on the Bifrost to guard the gate of Asgard? Heimdall was about his business. Heimdall was about his job. Heimdall had the old Saturn spirit because he had wisdom. He could see, the legend has it that Heimdall can hear the grass grow. I'm not even going to go into how Heimdall was born and all that. But so Heimdall represents Saturn. And then when you talk about, someone like Hela represents Mars, an aspect of Mars. Or maybe it's even Venus. Because Venus, because Hel was upset because she wanted to destroy. She was being led by her own passions, by her own desires. I never liked Hela. I never liked Loki either. So, but Loki is sitting in my 9th house. But you know what I mean? So all these planets have their different manifestations. They're just like energies. And you cannot take the sun and put the sun in a box and say this is how the sun functions if the sun is in Aries. No, because the asteroids that are impacting that sun are affecting the way that sun is manifesting itself. The asteroids that make you up, because you are a solar system, remember, you are made up of stars. So the stars that are part of your sun, part of your ego, affects the way you express your ego. Okay? If you have a sun in Scorpio, the story of Persephone is your story. Persephone was no weak-ass woman. You can't be weak and be the queen of underworld. No, you cannot be. And then when I was talking about the moon, there's also the Demeter. There's Demeter, who was also the mother, the grieving mother, the mother that lives through her child. Because Demeter was the mother of Persephone. And so when Pluto abducted Persephone, Demeter, who is the goddess of grains, right? She stopped. There was no food because she was grieving so much for her daughter. There was no food. Human beings were dying. They had to go to Zeus and say you have to create an accord between Demeter and Pluto. And that's how they finally agreed that Persephone will come out in the spring for 6 months and be with her mother, and then go back in the autumn and stay down there for 6 months. And so that's why when in the fall, everything falls, because Demeter starts to grieve her daughter again until the spring. That's how those seasons come up. Okay, so if you have Demeter conjuncting your moon, you're going to be a different kind of mother than if you had Hera conjuncting your moon, or you had like Frigga conjuncting your moon. They're all manifest. I think, personally, I feel that Frigga is a manifestation of the moon, a different aspect of the moon. Just like you have Mercury. There's the Mercury, the god Mercury, which is also Hermes. Okay, there are different aspects of Hermes, like Virgo. Virgo is a manifestation of Hermes. Like is a different aspect of knowledge, which is knowledge you acquire through experience. What's the time now? Not knowledge that you acquire by reading shit. Okay, so another deity that expresses, I don't know, another deity that manifest that the energy of Hermes. I can't think of one right now. Okay, so all these planets are all energies, and so when you look at Jupiter and say, oh, Jupiter is this, Jupiter is other things. I believe that Neptune is the feminine aspect of Sagittarius. Pisces is the feminine aspect of Sagittarius, so which is ruled by Neptune. And Neptune is Poseidon, which rules the sea. And there's a different mythology about that. So to fully understand yourself is that you have to study the mythology. The mythology is the folk tales by the energies of these different planets that have incarnated and have left you stories, so you can be like, oh, this is to give you a taste of who they are. And then once you can feel the energy of the planet, then you can be able to see them in the different deities, in the different gods and goddesses that have lived. And the aspect of the wife, I keep talking about the mother, which is the moon, is Medea. Medea is another aspect of the moon, but her is the woman that was rejected. So that's a different aspect of Medea. If you have Medea conjuncting your moon, you're going to be a different wife entirely. You're going to have that Medea energy in your moon. So you all need to be, a lot of people don't study enough. And so they bring people information that is incorrect at best or entirely false at worst. There's a connection to all these things. If you look at the planets, you have to understand, like I said, that these planets are energies. And if you are a low evolving being, you're going to be creating karma for yourself. And how do you create this karma? The planets, right? Because you are made up of these planets. You are literally made up of planets and asteroids, which are all children of these original planets. And so, as we evolve as human beings, other planets that will have an effect on our evolution will start to show up. Just like when they discovered Uranus and Neptune and Pluto, that was not an accident. They weren't just looking, oh, look at Pluto over there. Pluto showed up when humanity was ready for Pluto. And so that's going to happen, as time goes on, other planets are going to come out. But you have to get the full story. Your sun is not just your sun in Leo. You have to look at the other things that are impacting your sun. You have to look at the asteroids, and to really understand the asteroids, you have to listen, you have to look at the story. Their myth. Like for me, I have, of course, I have a rising Scorpio, but then I also have Proserpina, who is the Greek version of Persephone, conjuncting my sun, conjuncting my ascendant. What does that tell you? That tells you that my life is not the life of Persephone. Because according to my ascendant, I am now the queen of the underworld itself. I'm not the one who was taken down there. That is in my 7th house. That's opposing my Proserpina. Because now I am the queen of the underworld because I've been done down there. Does that make sense? And then, so there are there are millions of asteroids. Millions. You have to find the ones that help you expand on your story. But you have to understand yourself first to be able to understand this I'm looking at time, to be able to understand this asteroid, to be able to feel their energy. Because once you can feel the energy of the moon and feel the energy of Mercury and feel the energy of Saturn, then you can be able to find Saturn. Oh, that is Saturn over there. Oh, that is the moon over here. Oh, that is Venus over here. And then you find the ones, because all of them still have their light and their dark aspects. If you resonate with the dark aspect of something, if you resonate like with Aphrodite, your love is going to be shallow at best. If that's, like a human love and shit. Does this make sense? So I just wanted to create an expansive view, because it's not just a one-size-fits-all, people. There's more to the story. There's more to it. Okay?